Okay, so these are the notes for Exodus 19. It was a short one, but I didn't want to go into Exodus 20 because that one's special for me, and I want to make sure I take a little bit more time. And they're doing some work outside, so you could probably hear some banging going on. So I didn't want to bring that in with the same thing. But along with the roaring mountain and stuff, this is just be just fine. Okay, so here we go. Ooh. Okay, so here we go. We're talking about exactly 2 months after the Israelites left Egypt and camped at Rephidim in the side of the mountain. And this is where the Lord said that He's going to carry them like eagles, and as He had brought them to Himself. And they were like, be His treasure. His treasure, if you know, like I said, the Ark of the Covenant was like a treasure box that God was over, like a pillar of the cloud that came into the Holy of Holies, which we'll get into a little bit into Exodus. But as you see here, He's already consciously putting it in our hearts and our mind, the treasure and what He keeps in there, which is, I told you, where the staff was kept and the rod. And these are all things that we want to resemble and to keep in our hearts. And also the 3 days. It's always 3 days this and 3 days that. It's something that we don't want to forget, because it's also is after 3 days when Christ rose again to bring us to Himself. And right here, it's talking like God coming from a mountain, like He was a volcano and thunder. It was all the elements all at one. I mean, I'm sure those type of events have happened, and a lot of us don't take it as serious as others would want to. But I've had plenty of times where I've seen crazy storms or crazy stuff, and it was a thought that I had in my mind that was with God. It wasn't a spoken word out loud, but it was something that I said that I got a response from the sky. And even I get more animal response than I do from humans here and there, which is really crazy to me. But that's a whole nother world. That's a whole nother world that a lot of us are not accustomed to, is our nature and the things around us. Instead, we deal with, false gods and demons that we try to create in idols. But so God said, don't let anybody come near the boundaries because this is holy land. But of course, let's just put it in this context. If you have a volcano, you don't get near it. And I really do sympathize with this, because a lot of countries do experience earthquakes and volcanoes on the other side of the world. We are one of the more fortunate countries or states that don't get those type of things as of yet. We get the thunderstorms and the hurricanes and stuff like that, tornadoes and things like that. Everybody has their thing. But if you go to the other side of the world, it's like they get a little bit of everything. So it's very overwhelming, the things in the way God does some things sometimes. And some of us believe that it's harmful for us, but it's just to get the full outcome, to be able to look back at some things, you'll see what changed out of it, that people change out of it. And then it says, don't cross the boundaries. God has set boundaries for us in everything that we do. We know what's right and we know what's wrong. The boundaries are inside our conscience, our conscious mind, our moral mind that knows not to do certain things. And we know better. If we see something, flashing and thundering and going crazy, we're not like those people that, like in the movies, like they run straight toward getting killed. I mean, we know better. You know what I mean? It's like, but we are stubborn. We are a stubborn people, stiff neck, and we don't listen. Because if we did, common sense would tell us, don't go there. Why would you want to get hurt? What if something happens to you or your family, your kids, or somebody around you? But we only think for the moment. And that's one thing. If God has given us eternal life, is that we won't have to dwell on the little things that are just for the moment. And if what you want to do is just for the moment, and it's not going to have an everlasting effect, is not something that should bother you so much to put off. If it was like that, then it wouldn't be a big deal about putting it off or doing it another time. That's what you really have to control, your mind and yourself and who you are. You have to have some type of control. And this is the thing, that we don't have that unless God gives it to us. We cannot do it alone. Alone, we're just like, we're dead. We don't have anything. He's the one that gives life. And like he said, the whole earth is His. The whole earth is His. So we have that, and then He said, the Lord said, go back down and bring Aaron with you and tell the people what I have said. So, and then we will be back tomorrow. Not tomorrow, I'll be back. tomorrow or Sunday to get into Exodus 20. So I'm excited about that. You guys have a safe weekend, and then we will be back to finish up what we were doing. Remember God's mountain, Mount Sinai, and then he commanded the people. And the thick cloud, don't forget the cloud. The cloud is one thing that's going to be over the treasure of God, which is the Ark of the Covenant. Ark of the Covenant, which is like a treasure box. And the cloud over it is going to be a symbolization of God. When we get into a little bit further into the scriptures. Okay, thanks. God bless.